Good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to today's edition of NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold for this Monday, the 30th day of November in the year of our Lord 2020. Looking over the news the past couple of days, I found a few things worthy of talking about, but the best came from Western Journal. The headline was, CNN, Trump's call for unity and togetherness could put vulnerable people at risk. Wow. To start looking at what is going on, folks, is now. Only in the liberal world can you ask a question like this and get the answer that they are after. If Biden had said he wanted a call for unity and togetherness, they would have been talking about how great Biden was to even suggest something so wonderful. But when Trump says it, he is getting vulnerable people at risk. President Donald Trump's Thanksgiving proclamation triggered those working at CNN, the leading activist organization, to ramp up its coronavirus fearmongering. Trump, in a proclamation issued on Wednesday, bucked the official narrative being pushed by the establishment media and some elected Democrats. Amid a reported surge in coronavirus cases, the establishment media's peddling of pandemic fear has spiked. In conjunction with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the media and its allies in the Democrat Party worked to essentially cancel Thanksgiving, and that's not the last one to be canceled, folks. If we keep allowing them to do this, Christmas is next, and then New Year's, and then Easter after that. But Trump issued a proclamation defying them all. Trump recognized early Americans as well as soldiers, first responders, and everyday Americans who have sacrificed so much amid the pandemic. He also thanked Americans to celebrate the holiday together. I encourage all Americans to gather in homes and places of worship to offer a prayer of thanks to God for our many blessings, Trump wrote. The proclamation carried a tone of optimism, something that you never see in the media, and probably why a lot of you never heard of this. And now to remove the liberal blindfold here, folks. To the left, anything that Trump says is completely and absolutely wrong, even though they would say that Biden was so correct and loving towards everyone for saying the same exact thing when they are coming down on Trump for now. The only difference would be the man who said it. The left wants nothing to do with investigating the wrongful stuff that happened during the election, but if it was done against Biden, they would be all up in arms about it. From Western Journal came the one I wanted to talk about today. The left wants nothing to do with the investigation of things that they should be looking into. From Las Vegas came this one, where a researcher stumbled upon stuff that could have changed the election results of the election. Apparently, there were dozens of people registered in gambling parlors in the state's 3rd Congressional District, according to the Washington Examiner columnist Paul Bedard. That district covers most of the southern part of Clark County, home to Las Vegas, and the state's most populous county by a wide margin. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of Republican Dan Rodemer, who lost in the 3rd Congressional District by 13,000 votes. And we have to remember that number, 13,000. And he lost that to Democratic Representative Susie Lee. According to the Nevada Independent, a non-profit news site founded in 2017, the case was dismissed by a judge on Wednesday. The court ruled it did not have jurisdiction in the matter. Now, the problem with this whole thing was that there was a whole bunch of ballots that were used that had no birth dates on them, had no addresses on them, or had the wrong addresses, addresses of like the casinos. But it went on to say, not only does this mean we cannot verify whether those voters are old enough to vote, it is also historically strange. While one does not expect voter registration information to be perfect, it is very strange that there were very, very few of these kinds of imperfect records with missing or invalid information until this year. when there were 13,372 of them. Now remember, that Democrat won by 13,000 votes. There's 13,372 of these with missing information or invalid information on them. They shouldn't have been counted. If something like this had happened and helped the Democrats to lose, folks, the Democrats would have been gung-ho for investigations until all the things that were needed to be asked were asked and resolved. But since it helps a Republican, they want nothing to do with it. My question here, folks, is, do you demoral rats for breaking the law that intense that you must cheat to win? If it is, that's really a sad thing to say. That is another reason why I always end my updates of my shows with what a friend of mine used to always say: we will not be ruled. Just as I've been saying, my friends, the enemy of this nation has been the demoral rat party and the lying media. For God does not condone this lying and cheating, and the Democrats and the media have shown us all that they care nothing for the truth. This is Robert the Infidel for today's NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold from behind the silver microphone of freedom with the voice of reason in this increasingly unreasonable world, brought to you through Conservative Nation Media, where we fight to make sure America always wins. Have a blessed day, and God bless you all.